Thank you for your interest in the Your Community, Your Vision discussion. This video will walk you through each of the questions posed in the online survey. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge and honor the fact that the United Way Hastings and Prince Edward Service Region is located on the territory of the Huron-Wendat, the Anishinaabe, and the Haudenosaunee people, and directly adjacent to Gundage, the Tyendinaga territory, which is part of the Mohawk Nation. We are grateful for the opportunity to live and work here. As a staff team, we're thankful for the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years and for those who continue to do so. We also recognize the contributions of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples who have and continue to live in these communities. United Way HPE is committed to acknowledging and appreciating the Indigenous people's historic connection to this land and to raise awareness of our Indigenous partners and communities. It's important to atone and rebuild. This acknowledgement is one small part of our journey. Moving forward, we are dedicated to listening to, learning from, and collaborating with Indigenous communities and partners. We are committed to weaving this learning into our policies and practices on an ongoing basis. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to our Community Impact staff team. My name is Jody Cooper, and I'm the Director of Community Impact here at United Way Hastings and Prince Edward.
My name is Caitlin Lalonde, and I am the Youth to Youth Coordinator at United Way Hastings and Prince Edward.
And my name's Alyssa Cook. I'm the Community Impact Coordinator at United Way Hastings and Prince Edward.
Together, we're going to walk you through what this project looks like. Your participation in the Your Community, Your Vision project will help us determine the most pressing issues for our community and where United Way HPE should be placing its focus in the coming years. If you're new to United Way Hastings and Prince Edward, there are a few things we'd like you to know about us. We invest over $1.5 million in the social service sector in Hastings and Prince Edward County each year, which makes us the second largest funder of social services in our community outside of the government. We're also best known as a fundraiser and funder. We partner with hundreds of workplaces and thousands of individual donors each year to raise funds in an annual campaign, and we allocate those funds to charitable organizations in Hastings and Prince Edward counties. We're also community builders and community impact leaders. We support the social service sector with funding, but also with knowledge and resources to help them be great in their programs and services. We also sit on community tables and advisory groups around Hastings and Prince Edward. We're also 100% local. United Way HPE has its own CRA charitable number, our own board of directors, our own audited financial statements, and our own community volunteer team that decides where the money goes that we raise. Everything that's raised here stays here. Our community is growing and changing, and United Way Hastings and Prince Edward wants to better understand the priority issues that matter most to our community members. That's why we want to hear from you. The goal of this project is to refresh and redesign the United Way HPE Community Impact Strategy. This is a unique opportunity for us to deepen our understanding of the community's needs, and it's your opportunity to help guide the organization's future decisions and direction. Your thoughts and perspectives will help us develop a community-vetted recommendation regarding priority issues. We'll also be analyzing community data and then integrating the two together to prioritize the issues and develop a full implementation plan. We need you to be open and honest. We're here to listen to you and learn from you and make sure that we understand the communities we're working in. Our engagement goals are to ensure providing input is accessible through multimodal opportunities that include both virtual and in-person ways to contribute to the process. We will ensure that the full region of HPE is included by holding sessions in each unique community. This will help us identify the most pressing concerns for the unique communities, as well as determine similarities for the broader community of HPE altogether. We will strategically involve donors, agency and community partners, corporate partners, government officials, and general community members, including people with lived experience, to engage diverse groups. If you would like to attend one of the upcoming sessions, please visit our website at unitedwayhpe.ca/your-community. So what does our current CI strategy look like? The current strategy includes our current eligibility criteria and 4 key investment principles. They are focused, balanced, impactful, and financially accountable. We ask that funded agencies be focused in their programming and demonstrate that they align with United Way HPE priorities. We ensure that our funding is balanced by making sure that we're supporting both proactive preventative services as well as reactive responsive interventions. Agencies show that they're impactful by demonstrating that they're making an impact with their programs in the priority focus areas. And finally, financial accountability. Funded agencies need to demonstrate sound practices, transparency, financial need, and sustainability. Our current community impact strategy also weaves in the 3 pillars that come from United Way Canada Centraide. This image shows the 3 main headings, and they are from poverty to possibility, all that kids can be, and strong communities. For our community impact strategy, each pillar includes individual long-term and short-term outcomes for how we want to measure community impact. These outcomes came from an extensive community engagement process that was held back in 2014, and that made the CI strategy specific to our community. Well, a lot has changed in the world and our community since the last community impact strategy. So it's time to look at the community needs and priorities again. So what does the full cycle of this project look like? We're here right now in phase number 1, where we're listening to the community about community priorities. At the same time, we're also collecting community data, which we will then analyze all of the collected results together. We're going to share back to the community to confirm our interpretation and identify priority issues. Finally, we're going to be proposing a new community impact strategy to the board and communicating this back out to our stakeholders. This will be our new community impact strategy that will drive all initiatives and funding decisions for the next several years. The final community impact strategy will be announced in the spring of 2023. This will guide all of our work, including funding of community programs and services that align with these priorities. We'll also engage in collaborative community work that aligns with these new strategies. Your contributions to our survey will help create the community-vetted recommendation for our community's priorities. After we hold all of the conversations in our communities and close the survey, we'll be working with partners to help us identify trends and patterns that we see in the data. These trends, along with community data, will be used to prioritize the issues and make a final recommendation. To stay up to date on the project, you can visit the United Way HPE website, which has all of the relevant project information. The site includes project objectives and engagement questions, upcoming engagement session details, information on how the project is progressing, and links to virtual and in-person engagement opportunities, including the survey. And of course, the final recommendation report will also be available here once it's ready. Our main focus question for the survey is around the idea of your hopes and dreams for a vibrant community that ensures everyone has the opportunities and tools to be healthy, safe, and reach their potential. Because we know that everyone wants a vibrant community, one that ensures everyone has the opportunities and tools they need. We know that you want this for your kids, your families, neighbors, and the people you work with and interact with every day. This is the ultimate goal for our community. For the survey questions, we'd like you to think about what your hopes and dreams are. We're going to be checking in to see what we're doing well as a community and what needs to change in order to reach this dream. We also want to be sure that we're considering our whole community, including how these strengths and challenges differ for people living in urban areas versus people living in more rural or remote areas. We're also going to ask you to think in the shoes of several different community groups to see what has changed for them in the past several years and what they need to be healthy, safe, and reach their full potential. In order to help us understand these questions, we have a few key terms that we've looked up so we can start with a common understanding. The first term is inclusive, aiming to include and integrate all people and groups in activities, organizations, political processes, especially those who are disadvantaged or have suffered discrimination. Diverse means including representatives from more than one social, cultural, or economic group. Equitable can be characterized by equity or fairness, things that are just and right. Safe can mean being secure from danger, harm, or evil. Some things to think about when we consider safety in our community could be things like domestic violence or homelessness, not having a safe home to go to. Healthy is the ability to enjoy good health or a sound and vigorous mentality. Some things to consider when we think about a healthy community could be mental health, addictions, physical health. Vibrant, meaning vigorous, lively, and vital. Some things to consider would be a full range of services and activities for individuals living here. And potential is the possibility to reach our aspirations and become what we want to be. Some things to consider might be employment, education, and mentorship. We're now going to go through the various survey questions that ask you to think in the shoes of members of our community. Some groups you may be more familiar with, and you may personally belong to one or more groups. Other groups you may be less familiar with, and that's okay. Just answer anything you feel comfortable with and feel free to leave some questions blank.
For question number 1, what do children and youth living in our community need to be healthy, safe, and reach their potential in a vibrant community? A few things to think about for this question: school success and school readiness, mentorship, parenting, sports and activities, mental health and wellness. Also, think about with each question, what has changed in our community over the last several years for this group? What assets or strengths does the community already have to support this dream? What are we doing well? What barriers or challenges do we face? What needs to change in the community to achieve this dream? How do the strengths and challenges differ for people living in urban areas versus people living in rural or remote areas? You'll notice that these questions apply to every question through the survey, and they will stay on the screen as we go through them. Question 2, what do seniors living in our community need to be healthy, safe, and reach their potential in a vibrant community? A few things to think about here, and as you'll see, many of the things that I mentioned in this section do overlap with multiple groups. If you'd like to discuss any of these in other responses, please feel free to do so. A few things to think about here are supports to stay at home, technology, mentorship, education, activities, fixed retirement incomes, mental health, and wellness. Question 3, what do individuals and families living with disabilities in our community need to be healthy, safe, and reach their potential in a vibrant community? A few things to think about here: at-home supports, employment supports, activities, respite, mental health and wellness.
Question 4, what do individuals and families living with low income or in poverty in our community need to be healthy, safe, and reach their potential in a vibrant community? A few things to think about: access to nutritious food, prescription coverage, housing and rent, rising cost of living, mental health and wellness. Question number 5. What do individuals and families who are marginalized and or underrepresented in our community need to be healthy, safe, and reach their potential in a vibrant community? A few groups to think about: the LGBTQ2S+ community, newcomers, women, the Indigenous community, international students, and the BIPOC community. Question number 6. What do individuals and families that we haven't discussed in other responses need to be healthy, safe, and reach their full potential in a vibrant community? A few things to think about: gender-based violence, addictions, mental health and wellness, homelessness and housing crisis, and rising costs of living.
For a final question, you're going to see a list and you can select what you feel the greatest needs are for Hastings and Prince Edward counties. For this first list, you're able to select all that apply that you feel are the greatest needs for our community. The second time you see this list, we're going to ask you to focus in on the top 3 areas that you feel should be United Way HPE's focus for the coming years. Now that you know more about the survey questions and the aim of this project, we ask that you take a few minutes to complete the survey. This is completely anonymous and will help us track which communities and which perspectives have been represented so far in this process. To access the survey, you can type in the link bit.ly/yourcommunityyourvision. This link is also available on the project website mentioned earlier on these slides. There are still several opportunities to take part in this project and ensure that everyone's voice is heard. We have several upcoming in-person and virtual community engagement sessions planned. Please join us if you'd like to attend, and we would appreciate your help in spreading the word to the community. You can share the project website, which is unitedwayhpe.ca/yourcommunity. This is also where you can stay up to date on the project, and individuals who are unable to attend any of the sessions are encouraged to watch this video and complete the online survey as a standalone activity. The link can be accessed on the website under the How Can You Participate section. On behalf of United Way Hastings and Prince Edward, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. Your contributions to this project will help identify our community's priorities and create the community-vetted recommendation for United Way HPE's new community impact strategy. What are our next steps? We'll be hosting a number of community engagement sessions across all of HPE, and the online survey will stay open until the end of September 2022. After these discussions, we'll be working with the gathered information to identify trends and patterns. We'll also be reviewing and analyzing community data. All of this information will be used to prioritize the issues and make a final recommendation to the United Way HPE board regarding a new community impact strategy for the winter of 2022-23. The new strategy will set the priorities for our United Way, and that will impact all of the work we do starting in the spring of 2023. We're happy to answer questions if there are any. You can please feel free to reach out directly to me, Jody Cooper. My contact information is here and on the Your Community, Your Vision website. Have a great day.